everyone, this is Lisa from Life and Layouts. Thanks for joining me for another process video. Today I am taking on the Freaky Fast Challenge over at the Scrap Room, and I will link the Facebook page below. This is one of the challenges that I have really come to love from the Scrap Room because it allows me to play around with fun papers and not really think about it. So what you have to do is you're given different dimensions. So the first one is that 10 by 12, which I cut out in that road looking paper. And then this 2 by 12 that I'm going to cut out of the wood grain. And then I have this plaid that I'm going to cut by a half an inch by 12 inches. And I think I have two more pieces of paper that I'm going to cut. I'm going to use this polka dotted paper to cut the 3 by 6. And this paper pad is from AC Moore. And so that had the 6 by 6 papers in with it. So I thought that was really cool. And the last strip that I'm going to cut is this one. I'm trying to figure out which way I want the patterns to go. And that's going to be a 4 by 7. After I get all the strips cut, there is one more element that you need to cut, and that's a 3-inch circle. So I start playing around with the papers, but then realized I needed to cut it out. So I measured my circle punch, which I knew it was a 3-inch, but I wanted to be sure. So I'm going to use another piece of the 6 by 6 sheets to cut that 3-inch circle. And then the fun part begins with just playing around with it and seeing what you can make out of all of those cutoffs that you had. So this is the third time that I've done the Freaky Fast Friday challenge over at the Scrap Room, and I have loved every layout that I have made with it. Now you can add anything else you want to it, border strips, any other stickers. They just want you to use those dimensions for the paper. So the photos that I'm using today, this is when the boys were over at their mom, so it was during her time, and she sent us these pictures where she did an indoor camping scene for the boys. So that picture right there is like she set it all up and then surprised them with it. So that's when they walked in the room and they saw it. And so you can see that Jackson was so surprised by it. So she had set up like a flashlight with some red and orange paper next to it to make it look like a campfire. And then she had popcorn for them and put a movie on. So this is all in their bedroom. So she did an awesome job with that, and I wanted to showcase that. So Neil, I am just trying to figure out where I'm going to put all this. And I really can't decide. So when I can't decide, I go to my inking because that gives me a chance to think some more while I ink up. And sometimes when I'm inking up, I realize I lay a piece of paper down and it works perfectly that way. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to ink up all of the edges of the paper and using this Peacock distress ink. And then I realized that I wanted to mat some of the photos with the background paper. So I got the background paper, and I know that it's going to be covered up by this 10 by 12. So I went ahead and used my T-square ruler to make sure that it was down straight. And then, as always, just use my washi tape on the back. And this is just to make sure that it doesn't get stuck when I'm trying to pull it in and out of my albums. And I lay down the wood grain and this plaid piece. Those 3 pieces, I knew where I wanted those to go. It was those other 2 square pieces that I couldn't figure out. And I knew I wanted to mat this photo, but then it left this top edge that I was like, I don't know what to do with that, until I pulled out a border punch. And so I make this notebook border punch at the top, fray it up a little bit, and I love the way that turned out. And it just, so I started out with the right, but then I was like, no, I don't like that. So I move it over to the left here, and that's when it just all falls into place right there. And it's crazy. It's just moving the paper around, and you get until you figure out what you like. And I have seen some other layouts using the same dimensions, and they are so different from mine. It's crazy how many different combinations you can make with just these different cuts. So I liked this element here. It says the great outdoors, and I cut it into a circle, and then I cut some of that teal, the background paper, as well to back it, because I felt like it got lost with that gold color circle. So I thought that was just perfect, just enough to offset it. And then this little camping journaling block I was going to use as well. I just couldn't figure out where to put it. So I'm going to hold that off for a second to determine if I'm going to put it on the other side or if I'm going to move it back to that side. So this is where I just took some of the scraps left over from where I cut before. So using that circle polka dotted paper as the left, and I don't add a whole lot of embellishments or paper to the right side of the page, just simply because I have a lot of photos and I really wanted those photos to be the center, as well as the other pieces. The other side was so paper heavy that I didn't want this side to also be paper heavy. So I'm going to play around with a little bit. I thought that this camping paper with the little tent campsites, as well as like those little RVs, I thought that was so cute. So I end up putting that down, and I used the bottom of the 10 by 12 sheet to make sure that I had, so it looked linear across both 12 by 12 papers. And then I just added the 3 by 4 photos across the edge. I did use some foam, fun foam, to pop up a couple of them. And then that's really the bones of my layout there. I added that journaling block that I was telling you about. It ends up going on the left-hand side. I found this other camping chipboard stickers that I had, and those matched perfectly with this as well. And then I think I'm going to pull off, I was looking for a campfire. So I found a little circle sticker, put some fun foam on it, and then, a square sticker, put some fun foam with the happy camper. So it kind of looked like the tent setup that she had with the little fire. And I put the fun foam behind the happy campers to pop it up a little bit. So now I'm playing around with where that's going to go, and it's going to end up on the left side with some fun foam. And then I used these thickers, and they're like a wood grain thicker. And I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put everything. I lay everything out. I'm going to put it, the title's going to be Around the Campfire. And after I get the campfire down, I move it around a couple times. And I use the orange polka dotted stickers for the word the. I pull out my alignment, the thicker alignment, and I'm going to make it into an arch. So the word around is kind of around the campfire. And then after I put all of that down, I'm going to use my fine line bottle to make sure that they're here correctly, because with chipboard thickers, they never stay down. You always have to use that extra glue adhesive. And this is where I pull out these other thickers, because I didn't want it to say the great outdoors, because they weren't outdoors, they were indoors. So I used this like cream colored thickers to put the word in on top of the word out. So now it says the great indoors. And I added that little star on the left because the word in went outside the circle, so I wanted to balance out the title there. Just adding some enamel dots to two different places. And then I felt like I needed something to cover or to have on that next to the title, because I felt like there was a big open space. So I used this bingo card. And then I use some orange hearts from the Illustrated Faith stickers that I used for the word the. Just to add those, a little extra detail to right around the title. Then I'm going to write out my journaling, and I just talk about how their mom is amazing and that she's able to think of fun things for them to do, just making out of sheets and forts and things like that. She really is a great mom. And so added the date to the journaling block, and I think I'm going to put some Heidi Swap color shine on it in the color peach, just to give it a little bit of extra dimension. And I think this is it's become one of my favorite colors. And orange is not a favorite color for me at all, but it just seems to go well with a lot of different things, so I tend to use it quite a bit. And that's really it for this layout. I love the way it came out. It's such a great way to use that Freaky Fast Friday prompt. I have recently gotten an increase in subscribers, and I really want to welcome everyone here. I'm so glad that you guys are here and you're here to see my double page layouts. If you like this double page layout, if you won't mind giving me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate that. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layouts, hit that subscribe button, because that's all I do on this channel. I hope everyone has a scrappy day, and thanks for watching.